Die. Good afternoon, Altitude Esports. Here I am into you, joined by Jag, and we are back once again with Altitude Esports mock OWL playoffs. So this time, we have a pretty hyped up match. It's going to be Toronto Deviant versus Dallas Fried. What do you think about this one, Jag?
Well, as we know, this is a rematch. We've already seen these two teams play in the playoffs, and last time Deviant were able to pull the victory out 3-1. So, I mean, you gotta think Dallas Fry are looking for a little bit of revenge here, while Deviant are trying to stay the course and continue their playoff run. I think it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, Deviant's gonna try and hold their status quo. Well, Fried, a little bit feisty to try and get revenge. However, before we forget, make sure you vote for your Season 2 MVP. It's a lot of great people on that list, including one of them here tonight is going to be Cookie Breed on the side of Deviant. So make sure you do that. It's going to be in the description of the stream. But before we go any further, we're going to bring this over to the analyst desk.
Yep.
Alrighty, hello. I'm sorry.
Hello.
By Booney.
I'm Booney. Hello, and welcome back to the analyst desk here, where the biggest question is not who's going to win today's match, but am I actually wearing pants? Now, as we look at this game here, we got a little bit of a biased analyst desk. Of course, had to be a little bit of emergency, but I hope that you keep it real here, Sarth, on the analyst desk. When we look at these two teams here, I'm expecting a bit of a closer match than last time.
No bias here. What are you talking about? I don't have any affiliation with anyone.
Absolutely no bias, of course.
I don't know.
Now, I don't know. What do you think?
I think last time it was interesting. We'll make this quick, but I personally think the score is going to go 3-0 Deviant, but no bias, right? None at all?
Yeah, no bias at all. And I mean, we do look at Deviant, very strong roster. We have Juice and Cookie Breed. Juice, of course, is trying to be the first ever DPS to win the Booney's Biggest Boy achievement, which is only a tank award, so it'll be very hard for him to do that. But I'm looking forward to see what he does. Yeah, I'm with you, probably Deviant, but I'm going to say a 3-1. I believe in Fried. Maybe something will happen. Who knows? Rayon 2CP, BS, something like that. So both the analysts here are going to say Toronto Deviant in kind of a quick match. We'll send it back over to our casters and get this game underway.
Yeah, we'll go straight to the casters.
Well, I like how there's almost no faith in the Fried here, but honestly, I feel like Fried, they at least have a chance to make a very close one. If you see, they completely dominated the San Francisco Shook. Looked a little bit shaky for a second, but in the end, they did come out with the 3-1. Toronto coming off a close round against XL. Do you think Fried has a chance here, Jag?
I mean, I personally always love an underdog story, so yeah, sure, why not? Let's see what they can do. It's always about what team shows up that day. I think sometimes when you're the favorite, you might get a little ahead of yourself, think we've got this is over, easy clap, and then, 2 maps in, you're down 2-0 somehow. So it's anyone's game, honestly. I'm just excited for a good match.
Yeah, personally, I'm really excited for the Reinhardt battles here. Both teams are known for having very aggressive Reinhardts. Papa Smurf, though, looking a little bit, they're kind of on the more passive side as of recent. However, I feel like they might be able to turn up just in the end there. We're gonna head into our first map. It's gonna be Lijiang Tower. So a classic map for both of these teams here, allowing them to get nice and brawly here. What do you think you're gonna see here?
I mean, I think, like you said, it's the battle of the main tank here. Sometimes the passive style can win out. You kind of just wait for your enemy to make a mistake. Monster, really, really aggressive. We could see something happen there. It looks like Monster is not in this map, though. So I guess we'll see what happens.
The hype was all a lie. Come on. All right, sorry, chat. We let you down. Yep, Javade again. Although Wayward versus Papa Smurf is still quite the prospect. Wayward, he's a little bit more geared towards that Orisa, so we're going to be seeing a little bit more double shield coming in from the Deviant here. But Wayward has shown to be pretty strong as well. We're going to see if there's going to be a quick adaptation from the Fried here. That's something that they've shown to struggle with quite a bit in the past.
Yep, and we're about to get into it right now. It looks like we're going to have double shield versus Ryan Zarya right here on our first point, so this is going to be really interesting.
Well, if only who else would have head out with the Junkrat right off the bat but Cookie. Of course, he's going to be kind of knocking that in, and just with the rest of the team, they're just going to be focused on poking down the rest of the Fried. Although you can see walls being popped in order to give Fried as many resources before they get to the brawl. Papa Smurf, nice healthy shield, gets right in there, and then Toad threads the needle on the Cookie Breed to get the first blood of the match. You can see the tanks of Fried in a bit, tanks of Deviant in a bit of a tricky situation. Probably just steamroll onto the point.
Yeah, and there, I mean, hope you're okay there. It really comes down to this tank composition. You know, Ryan Zari is a little bit more brawly. You got, now they switched over, they are on Ryan Diva. The double shield wasn't working as well because they weren't as patient with it. And the May wall so far on Fried from Toad has been really valuable.
Sorry about that real quick. You see a ton of, oh my goodness, Papa Smurf with a massive shatter. He's giving no remorse to this Deviant squad as they tried to swap right back onto a Rhine comp. And although all that happens is that Toad gets that stone, stagger kills onto the Diva mech and onto the Doomfist. Although the rest of Fried do turn things, do tend to clean things up, although they had to use an extra grab in order to get it done.
I mean, great value on that grab, though. As we've seen so far, it looks like Deviant are just playing hero musical chairs. So many swaps coming in. Back on the Doomfist now, again, is Juice. They're going to need to get some ults going here if they have any chance of taking this point.
Yep, speaking of going, Deviant are just gonna be going around right into that white room. However, it looks like Fried is reacting to it. That is a nasty anti-nade from Gluttony. No vegans tonight. However, it looks like nice counter shatter from the Papa Smurf to stop any sort of aggression that coalesced for the Deviant there. And yeah, Deviant off to a rough start here with one more fight already on Control Center.
It's really going to come down to Diva being able to eat this mail. I mean, they do have the Blizzard, but just being frozen in place, they might not be able to touch point here. So, I mean, it's going to come down to see if they can get the Doomfist maybe go in for a sneaky touch while everyone pushes forward. Oh, there's a beat early.
Yeah, but you can see all of those ults popped out from Deviant just again to show how we have a nasty Blizzard coming in from Fried. Does a great job at splitting the members of Deviant up. And you can see that's the great cleanup from Toad and Fancy here. As Deviant, they're really struggling here. Okay. So that's not the start that I think our analyst desk was expecting. Fried taking Control Center with ease.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. I think we saw there that the comp that came out from Fried was just superior. They were able to hold those ults. They were able to use them well. I don't understand why they switched to the Zarya at the end. I thought that was a really interesting choice, especially when that Diva Eat would have been so huge in that situation. I think they were trying to play, you know, a matching comp, more similar, but at that point, it's one fight territory. You got to stick with what you got, you know?
They're trying to pull the good old Carpe, just, panic mirror, but it didn't seem to work out for him in the end there. So we're going to see a massive change of pace in these comps here, as, once again, Deviant's going to go for the slower style. It looked like they were going to bring out the Fara, but they're actually going to start out something similar to the first match. However, this is good old Tier 3 Overwatch, so you get the TPs up top. Looks like the Deviant do make it first, so it's going to be a bit hard for Fried in order to get any sort of foothold. They're going to have to back up, slowly regroup. They do lose their shield, although they do take out major damage sources. How did Gank get picked off there? Toad just absolutely thread the needle there. And right now, you can see Cavs, Fried just kind of cooking them in point there. It's going to be only a matter of time before Deviant are going to be forced to let out here. Although Deviants do get the cap in, so Fried might just wait a little bit longer in order to get their numbers up before kind of rushing in on there. It's going to be hard to retake against all of these Symmetra turrets. And you can even see Juice taking advantage of Toad trying to take those turrets out. And with the shield gone, fantastic hold usage. Juice is going to clean up the fight, and Fried are out of there.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because, as we saw, Fried had the man advantage, but they didn't break the teleporter. So Deviant were able to get some members back before we saw Fried have a full team to rush in. So they kind of just stalled out there, weren't able to push. And then, as you said, Juice is able to catch Toad out of position, focusing those turrets. And here we have it. Already 40% on the point and a lot of ults on both sides.
Yeah, they looked like, Fried, although they were cooking up an ult economy of their own, you can see Deviant with so many ults. They almost got 6. Oh no, we remember the tire here. We remember the legendary 4K. I don't think we're gonna get a 4K here, but we're gonna get something big. Takes out Toad, so that's a major sustained source just out of the fray for Fried here, forcing them to stall out for even longer. This gets 60% without them even getting back to point.
Yeah, at this point it might come down basically to one fight and then just like switching for speed and hoping that they can contest long enough to get a full team fight. But as we see, there are currently 4 ults for Deviant and only 2 ults, the support ults, on the side of Fried. But they are about to get Shatter, so if they get a huge Shatter, who knows? They're able to turn around.
Yeah, Papa Smurf, it's gonna be life or death for the Fried here. He does manage to get a nice good old dive into the shield setup. Although, wait, no, there was a Shatter on both sides. First from Wayward, now on Papa Smurf. However, it looks like Deviant have the better counter engage with that bongo, and Juice just absolutely melting people. I thought Fried were supposed to be doing the cooking here, but no, looks like Deviant got something right. They just completely roasted the Fried.
Yeah, tale of 2 points so far. I mean, basically the exact opposite of last time. They just had the better comp for that point. They were able to take control. And la-di-da, here we are, 1-1, going on to Gardens. Do you think we'll see any dive here?
Based off of both of these teams, I think we might see some variation of kind of a chaos comp. Actually, we are seeing a little bit of a chaos comp coming out from the Fried here. Chaos comp into a dive. We will see a dive. Okay. So the put it short, we're gonna see a dive.
I mean, that's exciting. I love to see that.
2 very different versions of Pharmacy here.
I guess we'll see who has the better target focus here, who can win it out. But, you know, right now it's anyone's game.
Yeah, so generally these fars aren't too concerned with getting big one-on-one duels. Generally concerned with getting big splash damage. It looks like already early on, they're going to be hard focused on each other. Looks like Toad just gonna ignore for the time being. And it looks like already Fried are off to a great start here, and a massive nade from Gluttony. Those are some fat nades, and it's not just because he's named Gluttony. That actually halted all of Toronto's progress towards the point there. Although, got the Sigma going in for the touch here. So he's gonna be by himself, a little extended, makes him nice and vulnerable for the dive. Just barely gets out with his life as Fried gets control of the point.
Man, Gluttony is really sticking it to them right now. Great antis, great sleeps. And I mean, so far, that was the first time they've really touched point. But yeah, I'll pick right now on Papa Smurf. This could be the turnaround.
Yeah, anarchy causing pure anarchy in the back lines of the Deviant here. And you can just see just unrelenting pressure. Like Deviant, they just can't catch a break with with all the chaos caused by this Fried comp.
No, but they got the Ana at the end. That could be huge for this next fight. I mean, I think the biggest thing we've seen so far is that you've got slower characters like Juice on Ashe who are just kind of sitting ducks for the most part to a dive. You know, a Tracer on you, unless you get that one shot to the head, it's going to be really hard to kill her.
Yeah, however, looks like the rest of Fried are going to hang back a little bit more, and they're just going to wait for Gluttony to get back. Although Gluttony is a little bit stuck in by the spawn choke. Although speaking of getting stuck, so is the rest of the Deviant lineup, as it just allows just everyone on their team to just poke into them and just cleave all that damage.
I mean, right there, you saw Danny use the square, and basically, they were just like, you know what? We're just gonna walk through it, and that's exactly what they did. Threw in Nano onto the Diva, and they were able to clean up that fight. Also, getting the lamp out really easily with that pulse bomb basically left them very vulnerable. So right now, Barrage is coming up on both sides, as well as Bob for Deviant. Let's see who can win these DPS ults out.
Yeah, it's gonna be these divas are gonna be extremely important to see which one is able to mitigate the far ults. We can see nice mitigation coming in from Ryan there. Although not Ryan, Fancy. Cookie Beat's still able to get a ton of value with his ult, and when he's uncontested, he just absolutely dominates. And there's not really much to contest him that's left for the Fried here, so they're gonna be on their way out. Although they do manage to get the point to 99%.
I mean, Juice's Bob was just in the perfect position. No one really was turning around. There wasn't a sleep available to get rid of him, and Toad is gonna really wish that he had that barrage back. If he'd been a little bit more patient, Fry's be coming in with a lot of ults for this last fight, but now all they have is the Diva Bomb, and they're already down there on us. They're gonna have to stall out a little bit longer and wait for a full contest. They've switched off of the Winston now, going for a Rhine comp, so a little bit less divey.
Yeah, both teams are kind of going for. It's interesting. They kind of just all went for the same sort of style comp with different heroes, just that brawl pokey style. Just buying just burning down the resources so the whole aggress can come in. However, it looks like to start off, Deviant is getting the better of that trade as Juice takes out the Mercy with a pocket of his own. So it's gonna slow stuff down for Fried quite a bit. Although we do see a nice stick onto Juice, so a lot of damage, just overall not there for Fried here. And you can see the rest of his team doing such a great job. The tank line making so much space with that bomb and just Ryan being Ryan. And you can see the Deviant, they're in the crunch. It's crunch time now. You can see Wayward's already back on the ball. Might just barely be able to get a stall in. He does manage to get there. Just waiting to get that tether so he can kind of spin it to win it. So it looks like he's going to prefer getting that in order to get a dive onto the back line. Not really going to get any value. Barrage from Toad. This should clean it up, although Cookie is known to clutch stuff like this out. Though it's going to be a bit difficult. It's about a 4v5 on point right now. So much going on.
The target focus is all over the place. And, at this point, Deviant have solved this out for so long, they might actually have a shot.
Yeah, I don't know how Fried are just not killing these targets. It's you know what? I'm gonna say it. It's a clown fiesta here. Absolutely insane. What is even going on here? We have the ball spinning to win it as well. Once Wayward goes down, though, Deviant aren't gonna be able to get back. All right.
So close.
And the power rankings are in the dumpster fire.
Oh man, those first 2 points that we saw on this map were so one-sided, and this one was just crazy. I'm gonna steal a line from you. It was indeed a clown fiesta. I mean, Fried just could not finish off the fast contests that were coming in from Tracer and Ball. We saw Ryan shoot himself off the map, but at the end of the day, Fried were able to clean this one up. And yeah, as you said, so far the underdogs are in the lead.
Hey! I guess you could say it was anarchy.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Aside, look, it's too easy. It's way too easy not to do. Do you really blame me?
I can't, but I would blame myself if I didn't thank Rob Bob 260 for the follow. Thanks for supporting the stream. Really appreciate it. So 1-0 for Fried. Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, definitely. I can hear Sarth just molding. I can hear him just absolutely molding and rolling in defeat. However, as we know, it's a good old Deviant game. So generally, what happens here is that it's going to be a 3-1 for Deviant.
I mean, so far what we've seen from Deviant is they have not really been able to adapt that much. It seems that they've been running basically the same tank comp. Maybe they don't really trust Wayward on run as they would Monster. I'm not really sure what's up there. But the double shield was effective on Night Market and not really anywhere else. They did alter the DPS a little bit and sometimes a lot, depending on, if it's the first point or not, when they were just kind of rolling through and saying, I hope this works. But I think they really need to try to say, hey, we lost this first fight. Why did we lose this first fight? What hero would be better for the next fight? Because if you don't swap off immediately on control, it's so hard to build up that ultimate bank. It's impossible, basically.
Yeah, I honestly want to see how the mental game is for these Deviant members, because as we know, it's a very emotional team. So they're very emotional, very momentum based. So a lot of times when stuff like this happens, when stuff like this happens, kind of just need a second in order to calm down, kind of take a chill pill. Which, hey, you know what? This is why they're on altitude. There's pauses every 5 minutes, so they got plenty of time to kind of de-stress and rest. But it might be different this series.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of an unofficial timeout.
Yeah, I think depending on they get next map choice. I'm actually not sure about this league rules. This is the first time I've casted here. I apologize. But does Deviant get map choice now? Okay. All right, so yeah, Deviant do get the map choice here. Fried get to choose the side they want. I think a big part of this will be, do they have a map they're comfortable on for assault, and if they can, take advantage of that. We've seen them very strong in Volskaya in the past. There might be something else they like that's in this pool. I'm not sure. But really quickly, I want to thank Attack Dog Plays and Retro Life for the follow. Thanks for supporting the stream, and stick around because we're going to have some great action coming up soon.
Yeah, I would be very confused if Volskaya was not the second match here. Honestly, a lot of times in a Deviant game, you expect to see the same things generally. A lot of times it's Lijiang, Volskaya, King's Row, and the fourth map is honestly whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, here we're promised, possibly only 3 maps. So, if Pride keep this up, we could see a 3-0 in their favor. We don't really know what's going to happen next, but that's what's so exciting about Overwatch. It's all about momentum, as we talked about before. We're going to see if this break kind of hurts that momentum a little bit, if Deviant can cool their heads, or maybe they implode a little bit and Fry just keep that energy up.
Yeah, Toronto probably, if their heads aren't straight, they probably have some very colorful words for a monster, to say the least. Anyway, we will be going to Volskaya Industries, a map that has generally favored the Deviant in the past. If you remember a similar situation that they were into this, where they started their comeback on Volskaya on that kind of 2CP map. Although you can see Fried, they're kind of just they're honestly on fire right now. Like, I mean, yes, I know it's very easy to say, yeah, the fried are on fire, but like, I mean, they're cooking, like they're smoking right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, from what we've seen so far, I think Gluttony and Anarchy have been the standout players. Gluttony has been a menace so far on that Ana as a fellow flex support. You love to see an Ana kind of take control of those antis and those sleeps. They can be so detrimental, especially when you have a team that can capitalize on them. And Fried were so good at that dive, kind of seeing who's out of position, who slept, who's anti, and just and that person usually died. And then Anarchy was just running around on Tracer, having the time of their life, killing everyone that stood in their way. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of dive on Volskaya. It's not a great dive map. Maybe first point attack, second point is much harder to take on dive. What do you think we're going to see for comps?
I don't know. Dive on Volskaya has only really been great with Sombra. It's all right with like other stuff, like if you run like the Doom or the Pharmacy. But generally, both of these teams like to either run sort of rushdown comps, or either they like to run like a double shield. Like they like to play kind of nice sustain styles here.
Yeah,
However, what
absolutely.
I do realize from both of these teams is that especially when attacking on 2CP, they like to stick to the comps for quite a while. Especially, as this with Deviant, they like to force their strategies to work. Sometimes it pulls through in the end and it works out, but a lot of the times, it kind of just feeds over time to the other team.
Thanks, Invisible Ray, for the follow. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw that on Control. They were a little bit more stubborn when it came to their comp. They weren't really as easily flexible when it came to switching. I think 2CP is a really weird map because if you're on defense, you're kind of stuck with your comp no matter what, unless you do a really quick swap if you get rolled at first point. Otherwise, you kind of have to run with what you have if you're holding that first point really well. But I mean, offense has that first point advantage so well. You can easily switch, take a first fight and lose only like 30 seconds on the clock if, someone gets picked really quickly. But you have to make sure you're doing those swaps immediately. Otherwise, you're just going to keep running the same thing. You're running your head into the wall, basically. And, for a team that's already down a map, I can imagine that could be very frustrating if they keep trying the same thing over and over and it's not working.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting hearing running. It's kind of interesting hearing running your head into a brick wall without seeing monster in the line. Because generally, like he's the king of kind of, hey, let's rush them down until they can't handle it. But monster's still pretty unresponsive here, so we're gonna be sticking up. Monster's here. All right, well, all right.
Yeah,
Forget what I
right
just said.
there.
The legend is back.
We're
So
gonna see
a lot of
Alex on defense first, I guess.
yeah, a lot of you guys are probably really excited for this.
I think that's kind of a strong message, that you're sending like, hey, we've already beaten you once, and now we're gonna try to full hold you here, so it's a quick attack for us. Save some time for everyone. Or maybe they just really like defense. Who knows?
Is Dallas feel? I'm sorry. Is Dallas Fried really a team that likes defense? Let's be real with each other. A lot of the times, what they like is getting the nice whole meaty brawl. Like that's generally what the Fried is about.
Well, I don't know if this guy has a great map for brawl, which is maybe why the Deviant are trying to choose it to kind of make it happen anyway. As we said, Monster loves to kind of just charge in and take the whole fight into his hands. We've seen it happen so many times where it comes out of nowhere, does a bumper shatter, and bam, easy fight win for his team. So far, as we talked about earlier, we've seen Papa Smurf be very patient. Really, they've done a lot of really great team play so far, is the way I would say it. We've seen a lot of great hero play so far from the side of Deviant. Not as much coordinated play so far between DPS and tanks. So if they can get on the same page, maybe Monster's got really good comms. He really gets that team rallied up around him. We could see, this whole match flipped right here.
All right. Anyway, the time is now, and we're gonna be finally heading into Voskaya here. So I'm expecting a lot of double shield. I don't know. What do you think?
I've seen a lot of double shield so far. I think that we could see a little bit more of it. I don't know if we're actually going to see this from Deviant. I am not going to say anything about it yet because I feel like it's a debate. I feel like
it's a very Deviant thing to run.
They do
run
Bastion, yes.
Like, so it's among the realms of possibilities. Well, we kind of see we see Pride here, who are on the left now. They're running a little bit more of the status quo. With the Batiste Lucio, as I like to call the black line. With the with the general DPS, general tank line, kind of getting nice and brawly with it. However, we're gonna see that Pharmacy come out. Unlucky, we don't see Juice with that Bastion, and it looks like we're gonna see a massive pause in from the side of the Deviant here at some point.
Hello.
Oh no, that's not good. I do not pause it on the keyboard I'm running right now.
Alright, we got some inhuman NA altitude NA production here. If you give us a second, we're gonna sort our stuff out. Yeah, I think they still need a pause. So anyway, I'm going into the bar. It looks like Juice is just gonna start popping off. He doesn't even care about any of this chaos going on. He's just gonna click heads. That's all he really knows how to do, if we're gonna be completely honest here. Look, there's another one for him, and another one. Just completely dismantling this lineup here. It's not even close. And there we go. The pause finally does come out. Very, very interesting timing here. I don't know, Jack. What do you think? What are your first impressions of that?
Well, I don't know if we're gonna have this count or if we're gonna have a restart. Let's see first. What's gonna happen? Seems like we're having
it looks
issues.
Yeah. There's a little bit of conflict here, between the Deviant and the. I guess you could see. I guess you could say Toronto are being very defiant of what would generally be the rules here, and they really want to keep their point cap. Fried, getting a little heated about the what's it called, about this whole situation. They really want that restart. We don't know the exact reason for the pause. It might have just been all right, so you heard it from the horse's mouth. We are gonna be. All right. Well, we've heard. We've got them back, and production says we will continue. So, Fried fans probably not gonna be the happiest here. However, it was just a spectator. It was just like the spectators were swapped. So, does not too big pertaining to the gameplay. I thought it was a lot of lag or something. So we're finally going to be getting back into this, and you can tell Deviant are very happy about how this turned out. And then you can possibly see some tilt coming in for Fried here, as they're probably not the happiest about losing that point.
Yeah, it's a really unfortunate situation. Little bit on me. I wasn't able to pause the game, unfortunately, because my keyboard doesn't have the right buttons for it, because I'm using a 60% one, but regardless of spectators or not, we are on the second point, and right now it looks like Deviant are trying to push in with already 5 minutes and some ults in the bank.
Yeah, and we can already see, looks like Fried are setting up for some sort of counter-aggressive here. Although, you can see all of those ults being pumped from Deviant, just constantly putting pressure on. You even have Cookie with the barrage. The barrage is in no man's land. I don't even know what the hell that was. He does manage to take out the Diva, though. Although Fried are in a good position to recontest here. Gluttony getting the first pick. It looks like Anarchy also going for the chicken's neck here, trying to take out that Mercy. Though Cookie Bird's still functioning perfectly fine here. Although it's like slowly but surely Fried are making their way back into this fight. Gluttony with another one. This guy has been insane this series. Early MVP candidate?
Yes, quite possibly. We already talked about, the advantage that you have on attack for that first point. The second point is all for the defender. I mean, we saw 5 ults, I'm pretty sure, come out from the Deviant, and they were able to get 2 ticks, but weren't able to seal the deal yet. Now we're going to see the ult economy shift a little bit in the favor of Fried. They're going to have tank ults coming online. I really want to see how this Torb is, though. I mean, that Torb could be very deadly to that Pharah.
Yeah, it's a good old Toad classic on the Torbjorn here. Just looking to poke out at the Deviant as they try to approach. But you can also note, he can get right in the brawl there like the best of them. Though Juice getting the early pickup onto Lucio is going to really hamper the rest of this Fried lineup here. They need to do something about Juice here. Like, somebody needs to stop this man. Looks like Gluttony is going to cut off his resources once again by taking out Gank, and Anarchy taking out the rest of the Pharmacy. And once again, Fried just win the overall battle, even though fantastic entry from Juice there, even with the finishing hammer kill from Toad. No respect, especially on the monster. Such an emotional player.
We might see that on Twitter later, being posted in the Discord. Hammer kills are always loved. Are always spammed. People love to spam them. I think it's really interesting. Even though Fancy's bomb didn't get any kills, they were able to cut off the Orisa. Wayward was kind of on their own, and this team is so good at focusing down targets. They still have 3 ults in the bank. We're going to see 3 ults on the side of Deviant. This barrage has got to be huge for them to be able to take this point.
And Fancy, you can tell that he's just looking out for it. That center finds absolutely nothing from Papa Smurf. So that might be the entry that Deviant needed in order to get this one open. Although Juice's Deadeye also doesn't make that much space as he gets kind of stuck up in over by that mega room or that mini room. Although we got some pretty impactful ults being packed here. Sound barrier already being put in by Firecracker, and the sustain battle just being won by Fried here. Deviant were too slow to make a move. Also, how many times has Gluttony just picked off Gankro? Just the other G in the game having no mercy.
I'm just going to say, Gluttony right now has my vote for MVP. But, this game is far from over. They're doing great so far on that sort of clutch support role. It was really interesting because a lot of ults were thrown in by Fried that got no value. And I think the Demon really, we got this now. We've got that edge, but then they threw in a bunch of ults that also didn't get a lot of value. They held on, and now they switched off the Pharmacy to a Hanzo.
Yeah, but it took them long enough. We got Juice once again pushing up, making a lot of space with that Deadeye. And the tank line of Fried are actually fairly low, so this is very doable. You can see so many resources being taken out. And no! Fried doesn't touch! They don't touch! Fried!
Wow.
What?
Well, in fairness, they got a lot of kills right as the
They just let Deviant just jump in their bucket.
I would
Just
say it's a half C9. I would say it's a half C9. I'll tell you why. They got a bunch of kills right as the point was capped anyway, so I'm pretty sure they were about to cap it regardless if they touched or not. It seemed like Fried were kind of dancing. They're just kind of on and off.
They could have stalled that though.
They could have. You're right.
That was a little rough.
You know what Double Shield is really good at though? Kind of just taking space and controlling that area. It's so hard for you to push in, and we saw Wayward have that really big Orisa pull, kind of push them back. I think they might have not realized they're not on the point, honestly. They might have thought, hey, we're like right on the edge, it's fine. You know, it's so hard when you're screaming and, you know, yelling all these calls to like hear that timer going, you know, or the point, you know, counter going up. And here we are. Full point grab for Deviant. 2 points on the board, 141 in the time bank. And now it's time to see if Fried can even it up.
Yeah, we were talking before about the tilt factor of being against Deviant here. However, the tilt factor could very well be against Fried at this point. Being kind of screwed over first point. Well, not really screwed over, but losing their debate first points, as well as kind of getting that half C9 there. Unfortunate for them. Looks like sorry. Looks like Deviant are gonna be set up with the very poke heavy, with that Torb heavy, with that Torb and the Pharah. Just trying to wear down the Deviant wear down the Fried as they try to approach. Monster! What? No!
You gotta push on that right now.
Yeah.
They're down a huge amount of damage per person.
They're just way too slow to capitalize on this. Like at this pace, Monster is gonna be back. In fact, Monster swaps onto the ball. However, Toad and the rest of the DPS for Friday, they're gonna be quick with the capitalization at last. And I include Gluttony in that because he's just been absolutely murdering. It's worth the res, not just for the healing, but just because he's been absolutely knacking. Both Anarchy. Oh
they
my
need to kill this ball though. Monster's been contesting this whole time, and they've not been able to kill him yet.
You know, I wasn't even paying attention to Monster because the DPS were kind of going wild, but yeah, took a little too long to take Monster out there. However, Fried are in a good position to snowball this. They got some. They don't have their ults directly up yet. However, if they manage to stall this fight out, they could potentially build like stuff like their window up, maybe their barrage in time. Although Cookie Breed completely wipes that idea. So it looks like the res just barely comes in on Anarchy. They're just gonna focus on wrapping around that coast, forcing Deviant into a very uncomfortable position. Although Cookie Breed does get that boop off on the fancy, so it's gonna be a very not unwinnable situation for the Fried here, but it's an ill-advised situation.
Yeah,
you can already see.
Oh wow, 2 picks though coming in right as I was speaking. I would say it's a very interesting square there, but it looks like they're still fighting this.
But look how split the members are Fried here. With the comp that they have, they don't want to be this split. They honestly such. Papa Smurf by himself, not really doing anything down main.
Yeah, not great usage there on the square, if I'm gonna be honest, but they are building ults. They've switched now to Zarya. Surprised they're not going for the Deviant, knowing that barrage is probably online. But man, there are just some really big entry cracks we're seeing right now.
Also, I didn't even mention this. The myth, the legend. It's gonna be Juice on the Widow to deal with Toad on the Sphara. So it's been made a lot more difficult for this comp to work. Even if Toad trying to get that barrage in, though Cookie Breed is gonna be quick to shut that one down. And he comes in with a barrage of his own. Though Gluttony shuts that down as well. It looked alright for Fried here, but losing their main tank makes things just way harder. Once again, I didn't even care that they lost the fight. Gluttony got the Gate Crow on the Mercy once again. How does this keep happening?
Well, they've got bloodlust in their eyes, but as we're seeing right now, that double shield is sort of winning the fight out. They just have so much more shield protection right now, and they're really doing a good job of rotating it. They all rotated to the same spot on point, kind of making that Bob very useless. And right now, the ult advantage is definitely on the side of Deviant. Got their tank ult online. All that we're going to see coming out right now for Fried is that square.
Yeah, Fried most likely going for a bit of an eco push, maybe using that square in order to build up some of their ults. So got not quite a full high ground push. And even have the shield being broken from Papa Smurf. That is a rookie mistake. Although Monster is taken out by the Torb turn of all things. Although doesn't matter, Fried are gonna be out of this real quick with a little bit of ultra guard.
I really am wondering what the Torb can do really on this offense. On defense, he's great because you can kind of set up your turret. You got that advantage where you already have that positioning. On offense, it's so much harder. You got to really kind of run in and throw it somewhere. Oh, no one notices that it's behind your shield. And again, a square used already down 2 people. Maybe they're just using it, like you said, to get ult out. I mean, both tank ults are gone now, but they do have that barrage. They're going to have Widow's Sight online very momentarily, and now we see Toad go on for Doomfist. So maybe he's going to go after that Widow and punch her off high ground.
Yeah, a lot of panic swaps here coming in for the Fried here as they try to get something done in order to get a better time bank. See Toad going in with those short burst dives. And Fancy almost getting caught out there. Now the real one to get caught out there is going to be Papa Smurf. As right now the push once again for Fried is stunted, and they will no longer be able to get that higher sort of time bank. So they're just going to head right back on out, try to get a better fight. And although certain members like Anarchy are still in the fight for some reason, just going to drag out this respawn for them even more.
Yeah, the Doomfist is really great going on the squishies that have no mobility. But punching into an Orisa Ryan, not the best when he has Steadfast and she has her golden up. He really needs to be able to use like that on that Widow or the Bat that are kind of controlling that backside of point. Be a distraction, kind of take control of that. But right now, they're totally split. They will have the ult advantage here. They have 4 ults. Toad already down.
Yep, Anarchy gets a pretty nice deadeye. However, how does Gluttony fall off the cliff? How many times has this happened throughout the series? The rest of his team is getting the work done. However, Fried are going to be hard pressed for any real sustain coming in here. 2 members, especially coming back in. That Barrage does manage to find the other support, so it's gonna be very difficult for Fried here. They might be able to get one more tick at the very most.
Papa Smurf's kind of popping off right now. And he's dead.
Yeah, but he has kind of no health to work with. I mean, yeah, you have Gluttony back now, but it's just a bit too late here. Although Gluttony does win that 1v1 against Juice, that's not a thing you see every day here. Just this bloodthirsty support. Just out here killing up everyone. And you can see an actual stall coming in for a Fried here. Although once again losing Firecracker might slowly spell the end of this push. Though, see, putting in valiant effort in order to stay in this. We have Cookie Breed swapping over to the Tracer, just gonna continue causing that chaos. And with all these stagger spawns coming in here, not really any organization. Perfect for Tracer, Ball Hog to take advantage of. And it's a very unwinnable situation here. Nothing Fried can do. As the series will go 1-1.
Yeah, it's all even now, 1-1. And,
It's
I've never
perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
I've never seen so many people accidentally fall off a map before. And at such crucial times, too. I mean, Monster falling off on first point was the opening that they needed for Fried to get in there. And they had a great time bank. They had basically the same time bank that Deviant did. And then we see Fried make a great push, get a lot of picks, and then Gluttony falls off the map. And there's just no healing. Also, I think Lucio was alive, but I think what was really interesting is that they were not playing point during that. They were kind of chasing the picks, and because of that, they weren't even able to get 2 full ticks. I'm not sure if that would have made a difference in the end. Defender's advantage. Deviant were able to get out really fast, but if that BAP had been alive, I think we would have seen a full cap there from Fried.
Yeah, honestly, you can visibly see. Like, you don't even need to be in the comms to kind of visibly see the tilt coming in for the Fried there. Not just like how they were responding in chat. Like you guys can't see just with how stubborn they were to get some of these stuff to work. It looked like there were a lot of desperation plays, people kind of hanging in fights that just make something happen, to just slowly push it over the edge, and they kind of lost sight of their fundamentals a lot of times there.
All right, thank you, Mick Queen here for the follow. Thank you for supporting the stream. We really appreciate it. Right now, we're gonna go check out the analyst desk and see what they think about this match.
Alrighty, we're here. What's up?
We're here. We finally arrived. All I gotta say is Blizzard, please nerf gravity, because apparently that is a huge factor in this match so far. People just falling off the map back and forth. So I believe we'll quickly talk about the games and then go into everybody's favorite segment. But we gotta talk about the games a little bit here first. I mean, what are you thinking so far? What are you seeing?
I feel like Lijiang was kind of a mess. I don't know. It was like I feel like it was gonna be good, especially because it was a Deviant map pick. I mean, I know personally that wasn't exactly the roster they were planning on running because one of the players was a bit late or had some Mother's Day things to do. Granted, that's fine. Go make sure you tell your mom, happy Mother's
Everybody,
Day. Everybody,
please call your mother right now. She will love it because she loves you. Thank you, mothers everywhere.
Well. Yeah, but so I think that was kind of just like a bad mental thing going in the map, but also like Fried was just killing it. Like the double shield just didn't work out. Like on Control Center, especially that was a dominant Fried win on that map.
Yeah, especially Papa Smurf was just getting in there. Doesn't care how many shields you have, he'll shatter past them all.
Totally.
I believe he got like 14 shatter stuns on that map. I think just thinking about it back in my mind, but. Yeah, Papa Smurf putting a lot of damage, and I think just the Dallas Fried's DPS were doing a lot better when it wasn't Juice on the Symmetra. The Dallas Fried were getting a lot more value out of their DPS selection, so big map there. But then Volskaya comes around, and again, like I said, nerf gravity because Monster falls off the map, Gluttony jumps off the map, got to test the waters, make sure they're still cold. But yeah, I mean, when we look at it, there wasn't very good ultimate economy from Dallas Fried, especially on their attack round. They'd be investing ultimates down 2 or 3. Like Gluttony throws in the window when they're down 3 already, then Gluttony jumps off the map, then Papa Smurf goes in and shatters like 3 or 4, but then he's the only one there and then he dies, and we get a Papa Smurf is popping off, and then he goes back to spawn. So I mean,
I know
it's kind of an awkward attack almost. They had a huge time bank to work with, but just to take advantage of it. And I think it also comes down to what they were running. They were running a Torbjorn into the Pharah Widow, just allowing Juice to have so much value on that pick. It was up to Anarchy to try to deal with both the Pharmacy and the Widowmaker, and the Torb wasn't really getting much done, so I think just an awkward composition selection and counter picks from Defiant were pretty good.
But I gotta say, we spec'd it first person too. We gotta watch that Torb hammer kill.
I mean, that Torb hammer kill, that was something pretty damn. That was pretty good.
I'll let him lose the map because he got a Torb hammer kill. All right, like best part of the map.
If Booney's Biggest Boy wasn't a tank award, I would definitely give it to Toad for the hammer kill. But speaking of, put my graphic up. We need to see the Booney's Biggest Boy graphic. Oh no. There it is! Booney's Biggest Boy! Dun, 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 dun. It's time for everybody's favorite segment. Yes, I made that graphic myself. My mom is very proud of me. So, my Booney's Biggest Boy for today, it's gotta be Papa Smurf so far. I mean, the second map on Volskaya, I don't think any tank had a good performance. You had Monster jumping off the map. You had Wayward on the reset, which is, of course, a dishonorable pick and instantly eliminates them from contention for this award. Papa Smurf popping off in spawn. I mean, I just don't think anybody had a good map there. I mean, you did have Fancy getting a double kills maybe with Diva, which did get them in contention, but Papa Smurf on that first map just absolutely dominant with the huge shatters. So I gotta give my biggest boy so far. He's asserting dominance.
I could go with that. Not necessarily, and I manage Deviant. It's bad. What's that say about my team?
It says that they are getting rolled.
Volskaya was just a messy map for everybody. Like, it really was. It was a super messy map. I don't know. I don't know what map we're seeing next.
I think Scrims Row was the selection actually, if I remember correctly.
Alrighty.
And if we're going into Scrims Row, Toronto have had a lot of success coming in here at the double barrier with the Orisa and Rhine pick. And I think that that's good here on Kings Row, especially in the point A spot. It's a really good, strong thing to hold. And if Dallas Fried refuses to run the cool May character, which is really good at separating tanks from things and killing things off. But I mean, if they're not going to run May, might as well just run the double barrier and just sit on point, and Papa Smurf can do nothing. He's running into a Orisa and a Reinhardt and just getting outvalued. And I mean, hey, if they're going to keep running stuff like that, I can see Toronto bring us back pretty quickly.
I don't know. I hope so. No bias.
Yeah.
I hope
No.
so.
You hope it's a close match. This goes to 5, but your mom is cheering for Toronto because she likes the name. How about that? No bias
My
here.
blood pressure goes up every time I watch my team, even if it's not on stream. It's like the worst.
I mean, my blood pressure's going up too because I mean, what will Monster do next? What hole will he fall into next time? But I mean,
At least he's only got 3 on Scrims Row to fall through. So
he'll find a way. Don't worry. He's sniffing it.
we'll send it back
But
to casters. Yeah.
I think we won't send it back to casters. We've awarded biggest boy, so congrats to Papa Smurf. You didn't get roll star, but you got biggest boy. So who's the real winner here? Send it on back to our casters.
So there was some talk about blood pressure at the end. Now I'm not sure why the blood pressure was high there. Might be because it's a close game. Might be because gluttony popping up there. Like I mean, all that back play, it can't be healthy, man.
I mean, I just wish I was the biggest boy, honestly. I'm really sad there's no caster award for it, but so far it's been really, really close. As the analyst said, Sky was a bit messy. Lijiang was a little bit cleaner that we saw from both teams. Obviously pauses and non-pauses can do that and really shift momentum. We saw both teams cap really quickly, and Deviant were able just to kind of push the trigger in at the end and really be able to make sure they got the full cap. Fried kind of just stalled out on their attack, and here we are 1-1. Still anyone's game. We're at least going to see a 4-map set, maybe more. I'm hoping more. I love this action right now. It's great to see two teams that are pretty close in skill, honestly, despite the kind of difference in standings originally in seeding.
Yeah, and don't you guys forget that the winner of this one gets to play the Paris Pink Sox, which clutch out a victory against the Tiny in a 3-2. So it's going to be overall back-to-back very very interesting, very chaotic matches for us to watch here.
Yeah, and that'll be soon. But looking at the now, what do you think?
Soon trademarked.
Soon, trademark. What do you think both teams have to do on Kings Row to really be able to take the lead in this series?
All right, so what's called Fried, without a doubt, they need to just clear their minds, because right now you could feel all the tilt ever since the series began with that with the whole. Like you could just tell that their mind is like okay, that they were cooking the first series. The only thing that they were cooking the second series was their own heads. Like they were just caught all up in it. So once they fix their mental, then they can focus on kind of repairing those fundamentals that were being lost, especially in their point B takes, and in a lot of their a lot of those team fights on defending point B. Overall, just point B wasn't great for either team. We saw a lot of dirty Overwatch.
Dirty or clean. At the end of the day, Deviant were able to get the job done. Really interesting sub. We're seeing Wayward come out and Rian coming back in. Do you think that's going to affect how they're playing right now? Do you think they're looking for a specific hero in that pool that Rian has? Or do you think it's just kind of we're going to keep switching things around and see what sticks?
This tells me that there's going to be a lot less double shield and a lot more Ryan Zarya or Ryan Diva for the Deviant tier. So if Fried did a bit of their good old Scouter-roonies and know that they have a pretty decent coaching staff, then they should be able to identify that that this is a possibility.
It's always fun to see two Ryans just kind of lay into each other with Zarya bubble, because Zarya's bubble is so important, and we're gonna see if there's a mirror match here on King's Row.
Initiating match.
Yeah, good old King's Throw coming in here. Very throwable one for Deviant here. If they just need to constantly adapt to Fried. kind of just fixing up and patching up their errors as the series goes on.
Alright.
They need to set the pace.
Thank you, Wig3123 for the follow, and also I am realizing that Ryan is just pronounced Ryan. So I apologize for that if you're rewatching this, but living in the now, we'll see what they're running. Once again, it looks like they're kind of just memeing and Spawn. I don't really think they're gonna run it. We could see a Bastion though. We do see the Symmetra Bastion sometimes come out, teleport on top of that statue, get that high ground.
That's too easy though. That's too free. But yeah, at this point you expect Deviant to do that. But you never know. They might stick to it.
The win's a win. You never know.
We're seeing a lot of Far Mercy this series here. We're gonna see another one come out here from Deviant. Cookie, he's really feeling that. He's really feeling that projectile here today. It's gonna instantly start raining in damage, almost getting an early pick on the Firecracker. And you can see that the Ryan Diva coming out from the Deviant here. He's trying to kind of just move on through. Well, you can see Fried here. It looks like they're giving up a ton of space, but they're just setting up for a counter-aggress, getting out of line of sight from Cookie here. You can see Papa Smurf already getting right back in there, forcing back Monster as he is vanquished from the battlefield. Forces the rest of Deviant to just kind of take a little bit of a backseat.
So this is a great comp, honestly, that Deviant's running. That Pharah already almost has her ult. She's just kind of spamming damage from above. There's no real hit scan player on the side of the Fried. They also don't have a Diva to eat any of that damage. But if you ignore the Pharmacy and go for that 4v6, it's going to be very hard for the Demons to win that fight, especially because Toad is on the Mei again. That Mei has been so good this series. I mean, if they get a big barrage here, that's going to be an easy cap for them, but...
They gotta be careful for a potentially fast sleep dart from Gluttony here. It's not currently online for him yet there. And Cookie Bean actually goes and assassinates him. Even though Gluttony gets taken out, the rest of the Deviant are kind of crumbling here. In a very barely one-sided favor for the Pride.
I mean, again, that's what I was just talking about. You know, you take that 4v6, Nano Ryan goes in, just swings at everyone, knocks them all down. Burrow coming in maybe a little an incy bit late. Firecracker is able to get his team kind of inside the hotel, and we have a bunch of balls coming out now.
That is a straight up Momo right there from Papa Smurf, getting into both the Mei wall and the shield. And it looks like that kind of whiff, it might be the hole that Deviant are going to exploit to get back in here. Even a Monster hitting a massive shatter. However, an even bigger sound barrier comes out from Firecracker to keep his team up. And Monster is taken now, although without Papa Smurf, it's going to be a little bit hard to manage the retake here. However, a masterful Blizzard from Toad kind of just stumps Deviant's approach here. And Fried, once again, will reclaim the point.
Yeah, I mean, Fried are being very patient here. They're playing this really well. It did give up 2 ticks as they're re-engaging, but as you see, they were able to retake that point. A lot of balls coming online here. They might be able to get the barrage again, but the dragon is coming out. The grab dragon would be huge here.
It hurts me every time when I hear Monster's shield break. It happens so much here, though. However, speaking of happens so much here, Juice once again getting the opening pick, gets another one on the Papa Smurf here, and just so many ults are being popped in. And despite that massive anti-nade, actually the massive anti-nade might do it for Fried here, as they're gonna get the front foot on point B here, despite losing the point. Although they don't have their tank line, so they're gonna just head on out.
Anarchy, man, almost a hero play, almost saving that point. Once again, no one was really able to touch. A big stun coming out from Juice there to kind of keep that Rhine off. You know, he was looking for it, and they were gonna get the follow-up, and now they're gonna get a lot of movement on this car, especially that Pharmacy kind of in the sky, dumping them down.
All of these ults must give so much anxiety. Almost 6 coming up for the Deviant here, and they managed to get an early pick off on the Toad with relative ease. So it's not looking good for the Fried here already. They're not fully committing for the regroup here. Well, it looks like now they're gonna focus on sort of backing up. They're okay, just letting Deviant have that space for a while, because they know that they could probably reclaim it a bit later on. But now they're kind of all geared up, ready to get right back into this fight. But you can see all of the poke just coming in, and you even have that Raphinic Flux coming in, just focused on slowing them down. They forced out the sound barrier, but they have more utility to go. They got that window, and Monster Shatter just completely bombarded by Qs.
I mean, even though they will get point 2, look at how many ults they use in that fight that they could have saved for point 3. The only thing they have left now is that barrage. Nano coming in for Gluttony, or for Papa Smurf could be huge. A sleep on a cookie and some tactical crouching, you know, from the Mercy to protect him, make sure that he doesn't get antied. Coming out right now, I mean, they need to get a huge shatter from Papa Smurf because right now all the momentum is in Deviant's favor.
Yep, they're looking for Papa Smurf to kind of just hop out of the bucket. However, Cookie gets a massive counter barrage in order to completely shut down that push. And right now, it's going to be a bit of a questionable situation for the Fried here. Though it still is an even fight, having those two tanks still up for the Deviant makes it so much more difficult. You have Juice making a lot of space with that Deadeye, and even though it's a fat name from Gluttony, there's no follow-up for it. Speaking of follow-up though, there's gonna be follow-up to that Blizzard. Don't manage to get 2, and we got another shatter from Papa Smurf to slow down the Deviant once again. And they managed to re-stabilize.
I mean, Toad just basically, not single-handedly, but mostly carried that fight. Really great Blizzard, the wall on the run so he couldn't charge out. But Fried maybe getting a little bit too zealous with that, using the Shatter as well, and they maybe being able to save that. They do have the Grab Dragons, but they need to break that lamp. They need to get that lamp out early for it to be effective.
Yeah, Fried going for the good old Resident Sleeper combo. Oh, it looks like the Immortality Field was a bit offset. A little bit of a flub from Danny here. However, no, never mind. Fried just gonna continue to roll on through.
Man, that would have been. Well, imagine if they just left the Mercy on card and she capped. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would have been a bit rough. You can see Toad is a little less than impressed at that endeavor from her. Anyway, going back into this fight, it's actually going to be a 5v4 as still waiting for that Lucio to get back into the fight. Monster with that nice flank shatter. However, it's not in a position where anyone's going to be able to follow up on it. You can see once again, kind of those hero plays not really resulted in anything. What a shatter from Papa Smurf. Okay.
I mean, right now, this Battle of the Reinhardts is so important, and a great flank shatter for Monster, but no one could follow up from his team. Papa Smurf says, yeah, I see you there, but I got beat. I'm just gonna run through your shield and get your entire backline, and here we are. However, Deviant, 3 ults, 0 currently on the side of Fried. They need to get that Blizzard ASAP for any kind of recontest, and they're giving up so much space.
I mean, you hear kind of the frustration with Toad trying to farm that up. Rian opening up with the pick on the fancy though, it's definitely not going to help stuff out. You have Juice even making space with that Deadeye. It's just very difficult for Fried to get back in here though. Although you got a good amount still coming in. Firecracker becomes the next victim to fall off the map today. As it's really just Fancy left on the bow here to contest. And doesn't look like any more touches are going to be in.
Papa Smurf does touch. And Lucio's coming in.
Just barely get through, but nicely timed stuns do finish them off, and Deviant will complete the map.
Really good hold 1.3 though.
Score
Yeah, yeah.
0-3. Switching sides.
But how does he fall off again? Like, come on.
I didn't see it. I don't know. Honestly, I have not seen any of these.
You don't want to see it. It's fine.
I mean, also Lucio, has that wall riding ability, so you'd think that he's probably one of the least likely people, unless you just kind of missed the jump. Maybe he was trying to jump left side and just kind of miscalculated the distance. I'm not sure.
I wish we had a replay feature.
I would love to see a replay.
Whoever's you guys better make you guys better go wild with the highlights here.
Yeah, we should make a new segment, best fall off the map or something like that. I don't know. It'd be great for the analyst desk. I mean, we've already seen so many.
Or honestly, just some really like weird, like insane plays. Just like people people falling off maps, go Muma shatters into ice walls.
Imagine the worst possible
Like we need more of that stuff.
Well, right now, Deviant have that full cap, but only 20 seconds, 24 seconds on the clock. So very doable for the Fried. Coming out with the Ryan Zarya, maybe a Widow to try to get some picks from above. Once again on the Pharah, a double shield pharmacy. I don't know how I feel about the Pharah on defense. If Fried are smart, they'll just kind of push into those tanks. We'll see what they do.
If there's a cookie, there's a way. He's gonna force this Pharah once again. You can just tell he's really comfortable with that pick, but it's all gonna be about knowing when enough is enough. You can already tell they're making it a little bit hard for Fry to kind of push up on the flank here. However, it's not gonna stop Fry from just going around. Looks like they might even get a wall across in order to stay on the high ground. No, doesn't look like it. They're just gonna drop in, go good old merry-go-round up to the top high ground, looking to get onto the bridge. Possibly push out Juice on the Torp here. Yeah, if you can see the whole meat of the Deviant setup in that it's sort of that back corner on the top bridge. And you can see the rest of Fry just kind of pushing in, only to be meted by a turret. This feels like deja vu to, I think it was it the first Fry game? Or no, it's it was
I am empowered.
yeah, it was from a different tournament, but yeah, it was still an insane game.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about if you were there. Anyway,
Look how
going
much
back.
time is already off the clock.
Yeah, a lot of time off the clock. It looks like Fry, they're just gonna completely bust open the setup. Yeah, I've even got Courtney taking out Cookie, a little passive on the barrage there. And you can see this fight completely devolves into chaos. And these chaotic situations definitely favor the comp of the Fried, as they just have the overall better kind of brawl in your face sort of picks. Cookie making a valiant effort to stop it just a little bit longer, but will be to no avail. It's Fried with a lot of time burned. Will take the point.
What's great about Pharmacy and Attack is that you kind of are pushing into them. You take that aggressive edge. So even though you're basically playing a 4v6, that bar is doing so much damage, it doesn't matter. On defense, so much harder because the other team is taking that aggression to you. So you need to get that barrage off quickly. As you said, maybe a little bit too passive of it. Really great lamp coming out. I mean, Gluttony, it just...
Another Muma shatter. That's like 3 this series. That's insane. Although Anarchy does manage to kind of fill in that mistake by taking out Cookie Breed and manages to take out Juice again. Got a little bit of... You can see this rivalry forming through this match. Both of these McCrees just completely carry these fights for these teams.
Absolutely. I mean, as you said, Shatter not working out so well right now. We've seen some great ones, we've seen some bad ones, but we're about to see maybe a grab, and here it is.
Yep, there we go. It's gonna, just an inhumane grab from Fancy there. Just capturing the rest of just capture the entire Deviant lineup, shift them to the nearest KFC near you. Just off, just without a hitch.
Yeah, we've basically seen 2 second point attacks given to the attacking team for free. Rolling into third point, almost 5 minutes on the clock, and they have some ults to burn too. I mean, this Mayall could basically secure them the point. Only having Nano on the side right now, Deviant.
Yeah, it's Fry knocking on the point of, oh, hold up. That's not how Papa Smurf wanted that to go. Very good nano boost and very good anti-nades in order to counter-engage the Fry there. And Deviant manages to, in assertive fashion, take back control.
I think, wait. Monster's showing up with a shatter here, but I think Toad's Maywall kind of hurt his own Ryan, but we'll see if he gets it off. They're not looking.
Yeah,
Here it is.
It's a good old bumper shatter. Although most of the members were ready for it, though Papa Smurf, the important target, gets taken out. So it almost doesn't even matter that the lineup for Friday even saw it coming.
Yeah, all you need sometimes is one pick. Papa Smurf going down in both of these fights has basically forced Fried to back out. But they have not been using ults in these losing fights, which I think is a huge difference maker between what we've seen so far between this map and Volskaya. They're going to have 4 ults, almost all of them, honestly. Juice setting up, though, for the high noon behind.
Some very good May utility in order to completely stunt them. Oh, hold up! Juice just snuck around the back and got 2. and he's out of there. Oh, I was gonna say that was looking like a very good fight for Fried there. However, some very cheeky positioning shuts that down right away.
I mean, yeah, that high noon was great. He hid until the right moment. They were high nooning behind each other. It was quite something to watch. Anarchy just had no idea that he was his counterpart Juice was right behind him.
Yeah, getting a good old one-up on him. You can see it's a little bit difficult for Friday to take the corner here. Racers are being bled dry, although they get a really good Maywall on the Monster here. You can tell Monster's just molding there, trying like yelling at his team like, "Break the wall!" But it doesn't even matter. Once again, coming into this fight, it's a little rough for Fried here. However, just slowly but surely, they're going to be chewing away at the Deviant squad here. Though Cookie managing to get Anarchy here, it's going to make it very, very difficult for Fried to continue with their focus fire. No matter how much damage Gluten is putting in.
There's just so many trades there, but at the end of the day, defenders have the advantage of spawn right now, so it's really hard for Pride to be able to push this out a full team, man. Some picks.
Now that they got their entire lineup back, gotta be able to deal with Juice here. However, really well timed Mortality Field does manage to get the job done. What is that anti-nade? Okay. And that is why Danny is often regarded as one of the best supports in this tournament.
Oh, we've been seeing a lot these last two maps that two shields certainly can be better than one. You know, that Zarya bubble can block Shatter Fist to be so well timed. Right now, Papa Smurf really struggling to hit them as well as we've seen from Monster. Looks like we might see a boop here coming out from the Lucio of Deviant. This is it, but here we have Mayall coming in.
Yeah, fantastic. Maywall does a great job at splitting up all of the members of Deviant here. Although, once again, Cookie does manage to finish off Papa Smurf. So, once again, this Friday are going to be without their main tank. And so far, they've been suffering without Smurf just holding this entire squad together. It's not looking good for them. They do manage to finally take out Cookie Breed. However, it can be in a main tankless fight. Although, Papa Smurf finally gets back to the fray. And right now it's looking really good for Fried here. Although, a really good Graphic Flux might change that. Once again, another Muma Shatter for Papa Smurf here. I feel bad for the guy. He has so many this series. Like, it's unbelievable. Let's go. Juice's Deadeye does get kited out. However, Anarchy manages to keep the pace up for his team by getting that pick off onto the Lucio. And Fried, they're still keeping in this. Like, you can tell they really want to finish this map. They're not going to get an even time bank. Oh, well, Monster's Shatter here could be spelling, it could be the start of a disaster here for them. Papa Smurf taking out Monster. And then that massive grab just kind of corralling the rest of the members of Deviant here. Just Fried didn't seem to be out of there at any point there.
You know, it's amazing to me how many times you've seen Papa Smurf die after they're up one or two picks, and I'm not sure if that's the healing isn't there or maybe shield usage just isn't, you know, there. But a lot of the time they'd have that huge advantage, and then Papa Smurf would go down, and they have to play a lot more passive. But switching to the Ana, they were able to get that Nano, which was huge for that last fight. So Gluttony, you know, really showing that they can play Ana and BAP just as efficiently, and, you know, just because DV is valuable either way, getting a lot of assists and kills.
Yeah, I feel really bad for Papa Smurf here. He's been the first one to get picked off all of these fights here. He's been getting so many Muma Shatters. Just poor fellow. However, he manages to get back there in the end and just hold everyone together in order to get those important abilities popped, especially that grab from Fancy to really just close out the rest of the stragglers.
Yep, and we're seeing only an 18-second difference here in time bank, so, you know, you gotta hit that point really, really quick. You only have really 2 fights if you're really quick. We're not seeing the Pharah here, so we're probably not going to see that long rotation that we saw the first time. But double shield coming out, the Orisa Ryan versus the Ryan Zarya.
Yeah, so Deviant just looking to sustain through this fight. The burn is to just stretch just one fight out as long as possible. So there's just no chance for any regroup, just no chance for a second fight. They want this entire fight just to keep happening. It looks like Fried are gonna go for the kind of ring around once again. Well, that's at least what they want to think. Want to make Deviant think. Almost catching Monster off guard there. You can see they're kind of struggling to get in the brawl here. His Deviant's still holding strong. Although Anarchy getting the big pick off onto Danny here, almost taking out Gankro as well. It's gonna make it very hard for Deviant to kind of have any sort of presence on the point here. Although Gluttony being taken out does the same on the other side. Papa Smurf, nice shatter in order to just kind of keep Juice at bay, but that's kind of all it does. Toad, just clean up the point, and Fried, you're gonna keep this car on moving.
Yeah, they're gonna KO the Cats in overtime though, so if they leave the point for any reason, their push ends there. They're gonna really want the Moira ult back on the side of Deviant. I was wondering if they were going to swap off the Moira to maybe a Lucio or something. Oh, and a great pick though from Cookie, already on the Toad.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, that pick off there is gonna make it very difficult for Fried to stay in this. Although they have a nice call from Gluttony to keep in. Although Monster once again getting a nice Reddit shatter. So Anarchy does a great job at just kind of and the rest of Fried just do a great job at capitalizing off of his aggression. And you can see that the rest of Deviant here in a bit of a peculiar situation because of that play.
Oh, Smurf is in so deep.
Oh no! What was that from Smurf there? Although they're making it work, they're investing more resources in just to get as much value in out of that aggress as possible. Although these members of Fried need to be aware that both of their supports are on card. You have the Moira just barely being able to get back. However, it's not going to be before Papa Smurf gets taken down in the fray here. You can see Deviant kind of just started to steamroll back on. There was a good push through the second point there. However, you can actually see Anarchy and the rest of Fried, they're still staying in this fight somehow. Even have the nano boost coming in onto Wayward. Not even short. Wayward, it's on Prime. Oh, just barely. They're just keeping their pinky toes on the card. Just barely.
Anarchy, the dragon.
Both of the supports. How does he keep doing this? It's unbelievable. Once again, Fried keep this car moving. How?
Wow. I think that Deviant are being a little bit too indecisive right now. They had the picks, they could have pushed on the cart, they had the mail, they held back, they used the nano, and then they throw the mail just a little bit short, and that dragon comes in for Anarchy, and here we are on to point 3, still in overtime.
Yeah, you can tell that Deviant are kicking themselves off that one. Even have to make a wall to stop Juice from reclaiming some space with that Deadeye. And once again, another coalescence from Gluttony, although that anti-nade might spell disaster for them, especially if he gets hit by the Ana just once. Well, he did manage to stay in, and Monster gets a nice Reddit shatter. However, once again, he's very low, although this time his team is able to help him out there, and the rest of Fried are kind of just going to get forced off the point here. I don't think they're going to stay in this one, although a pretty good shatter from Papa Smurf.
Dragon,
I don't think it's going to be enough. Dragon, once again, takes off the Moira. So once again, Fried, despite some valiant efforts, they aren't able to stay in the fight enough. Although that was a fantastic push from them, especially with only 1 minute.
Absolutely, that was an amazing push. And at the end of the day, I think that Maywall from Hickey Bread really helped seal that hold there. They were able to cut off the tanks, so they only had the DPS supports on point. And, without that protection, if you're squishy, it's pretty easy to focus you down. Oh, so close though. So many kind of moments that you just kind of think, I wonder if they want that back. But just so much fun to watch.
I don't know. You can tell that Fried are very hungry for a win here, and probably some fried chicken.
I mean, who doesn't want fried chicken? I don't want to know that you said it.
Who doesn't? But they're especially hungry for a win here, just because they lost 3-1 to Deviant already in the round 1 of the playoffs here, and they don't want the same thing to happen again. For a second, especially with Deviant's attack here, it was definitely looking on track to be another 3-1 in favor of Deviant here. However, the series looks like it's going to be much, much closer here. As Deviant, they're going to get their stuff back together. So we're going to see Cookie coming back on the Junkrat. Honestly, Cookie might as well just be the Jake of this league.
We'll see that Junkrat is the difference maker here. We see basically the same comp coming out from Fried. A very quick rotation onto the point.
Yeah, overall, yeah, early on, a lot of pressure being put up from Deviant, and then the team actually does manage to get split. Gluttony is in no man's land, all the way in Streets phase, and looks like for the most part, Fried still has control of the point. You even have Monster without a shield, getting easily counter-aggressed by the rest of Fried there. Although with both main tanks out of the fight, it looks like the spawns are going to be the deciding factor here. Are Fried going to be able to stall? Okay, well, of course they're going to win this fight. Although it's going to be all about regrouping and kind of getting each other back before the other.
Yeah, Pride might not be able to get back into this fight fully, but their ult economy is going to be so good. They should feel like they've won. They can give up a tip here as they're doing, and kind of just get a full regroup.
Yeah, looks like Fried is waiting for that coalescence so they can just barrel right back on. Even have that nano boost getting put on the monster so it can try and halt that push and halt any sort of progression. What is that dragon? That's straight into the ground. I mean, it doesn't matter. Anarchy gets enough mid-fight value already. And Deviant.
They have a Tracer touching. The Tracer and Lucio are coming to the fight. They can probably.
No, they can't touch the time.
No! Wow.
Deviants. They're definitely kicking themselves after that one. Oh, that is.
That was just so back and forth there. I cannot believe the Moira on Pride side survived. I mean, that just shows you it's such a great ability. A really beautiful shadow we're seeing from Monster here. They were able to get the Zarya, but it seems like they just couldn't focus down targets quick enough. The Maywalls were coming in, cutting both teams off, and
the gluten die at all in that defense.
I believe so. At the very end, yeah, I think it was just Fancy that was alive at the very end. Was able to finish off what was left of the Deviant, and then even with the Tracer and the Lucio, they just weren't able to get back in time, just inches away. That is so exciting, though. I love seeing gameplay like that. It's just down to the wire. Really great series so far, and currently Fried are up 2-1. I don't think anyone really predicted that, especially the analyst us, but I mean, I gave them a little bit of credit, so I'm gonna, pat myself in the back a little bit right now.
Yeah. See, we're simple stuff. We had faith that they could at least make it close. Let's give ourselves go pat on the back. There we go.
Always.
There we go. But I definitely wasn't. It's gonna be interesting to see how Deviant respond to this. It's really easy for the tilt factor to just go through the roof for them if they don't recover quickly. Because right now, that's been the main problem for them: being able to recover, being able to control their mental. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they're able to kind of keep it steady.
Well, they've already been down one map in this series. Same position basically, except you have to be in win mode because this could be map point right now for the Fried if they're able to win this. But like we said, Deviant have already come down, tied it back up for being in the hole. So nothing's out of the question yet. They do have map picks, they could choose something again that's in their strong suit. We saw that Volskaya, they did really, really well. It's in their wheelhouse. They're probably going to try to pull something else out of their wheelhouse that they're good at.
I don't know. Are there any Toronto maps on full escort though?
I'm not sure, but it looks like we're going to be traveling to Havana, so maybe that's something they've practiced a lot recently. Maybe they're going to pull out some secret strats they've never done yet. You never know.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas Fry were like, Havana, oh no, because there's barely any opportunity to brawl here outside of first point. Kind of getting those whole spawn holds. This map is easily dominated by a ton of double shield, which is why I would be expecting to see Monster Wayward here for Deviant here. However, instead they're going to be running Wayward Ryan. So interesting stuff.
Looks like they're going back to more double shields. We didn't see a lot of Wayward on the line, so I'm expecting a lot more. Orisa Sig, which isn't totally surprising as we're talking about. This isn't a brawling map. This is a lot of distance. Double snipers is really strong. Anarchy has been killing it on Hanzo, so I think it's going to be his favor.
Yeah, this map is really good for social distancing because everyone's constantly away from each other, except like the spawn holds on first point. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, you could see a really early spawn hold. You see the it's really popular in a lot of escort maps, you know, Dorado, Junkertown, blah, blah, blah. You just kind of hold right up to the point. It's really beneficial because if you do need to swap, then you can do it on defense and offense, honestly. So it kind of gives the attackers a little bit of an advantage, but it's got great sight lines. You can build ults really quickly. You can stall it out. Even, you know, if you kind of get full wiped, you'll probably get at least a minute off the clock just from stalling it out a little bit. So it's a lot better than just kind of waiting for the card to come to you, unless you got, you know, that double sniper comp. In that case, you might just want to hang back and just hope that, you know, your Huns or Widows going to get a pick here or there, and then you can push in.
Yeah, just a lot of, honestly, I feel like what we're gonna see is a lot of long fights, like a lot of like long sustained heavy fights. Whether that's gonna be with that Ryan Arisa or Arisa Sig or whatever double shield you decide to run there, or even with the Ryan Diva. Like the way you see a lot of people play these, especially with the May, is a lot of times they're gonna wait until the opponents kind of wear down, and then they're gonna go all out with their utility. Anyway, as you can hear in the music, we are going to be going to Havana here at last. This could potentially be the last map if Deviant don't get it together.
Boy, I hope it's not, because I love games that go down to the wire. But like you said, very possible. Deviant, you dig themselves out of this hole, force them map 5. Right now, the Fried have all of the momentum going right now. I'm excited to see what we originally see for these team comps. It looks like we're going to see a lot of similar stuff coming out from Fried in the DPS and support line, but Double Shield coming out, Arista Sig. Looks like we might see some pulled pork, but I don't buy it. I'm not going to get debated by this. I'm going to wait till later to say yes, this is the comp.
A lot of the times you have pulled pork to kind of check to see if anyone's holding really close. Like a lot of times you'll throw a quick hold, quick hook out a spawn, and then you'll swap over. However, it looks like there's not going to be any of that shenanigans here for the Deviant here. They're going to go straight into the meat of it. And they're actually going to be running double sniper here.
4, 3,
Omega the Beautiful, thank you for the big T1 gifted subs, 5 of them. We really appreciate it. And yeah, we're going to see the BAP Zen come out, a lot more shield break than the Lucio BAP. But double sniper coming out might not be as impactful here unless they push into them, but let's see if they try to do that wraparound.
Yeah, Deviant shields kind of just got melted right off the bat there. However, just all of the pressure from the double sniper is already forcing a lot of rotations from Fried here. Though none of their members have been put in a very okay. I had to open my mouth, and Juice gets a massive pick off on the Anarchy. Most of the damage just completely gone for Fried here. And it's going to force them back even further, forcing them to play just even slower. Even have some holes trying to capitalize on the precarious situation of the rest of the Fried here. And just with the whole lack of shield. Okay. Although you can see the entire sustain here coming in from the Fried comp. Like, they just don't know how to die. They can hold on to this forever. And you even have Anarchy coming in from the off angle, getting that pick on the Juice there. Started off. And without the immortality field, kind of backline for Deviant is looking very much in trouble. Also, Gluten farming up that square. Gotta give him props. Ruka just got his square as well. However, it's not gonna be up in time for his team to take advantage of it. Even though Ryan gets those 2 pickoffs, just overall this fight seems to be going in favor of the Fried. Especially when you consider how close their spawns are. Even have Anarchy getting that other pick onto the Zen. Though Cookie Breed still trying to keep his team in. The rest of Deviant decide, hey, you know what? We should probably head out and play slow.
These fights have been so back and forth that it never feels like it's truly over. You know, they're still going after they're down a few, and then it just keeps trading. Now finally, we're back at the 66.
Yeah, that's the glory of these Orisa comps. You can play as slow as you want, and kind of keep that fight going, keep the pressure on the enemy while you wait for your resources to come up. We got a nice halt the flux combo coming in, but it's not going to be onto the right targets, and Immortality Field was there. Fancy just barely doesn't have his up either. However, the main focus for Fried here just seems to be stall. Just keep that fight rolling. They even have a nice blizzard. Although Toad died, he got his blizzard off just in time. So it's still looking really good for Fried. You have Gluttony and Fancy just going off, picking out fools left and right. Even at Fancy just going in, brawling out Cookie. Cookie, and Deviant did not stand a chance.
Yeah, and I mean, both teams are basically 0 in the ult department. So it's going to be just kind of mano-y-mano, seeing who can get the picks. I still think that Deviant have a little bit of an advantage because they have more shield break. But I'm not sure they're focusing those Discord orbs very well, because usually the person whose orb isn't dying quick enough. But Rook is going to have that square a lot quicker than Gluttony is, so that could be the fight winner right here.
Yeah, you can tell the knees are kind of heavy, their arms are kind of sweaty, as they're going to be kind of hard pressed to get some value in order to flip this point once again.
Down already.
Yeah, losing Rook that early is not a good start for the Deviants here, trying to approach this payload once again. You can tell Fried are so good at just holding on to the space that they already have, even if it is relatively low amount of space here. They gotta be careful at Juice though. However, Anarchy's just gonna completely demolish the backline. Finally goes down. However, too many important pieces for Deviant are out of the equation for it to even matter.
This is going to be the last fight coming up, but good news is that Deviant will have the ult advantage. They're going to have most DPS ults online. They're going to have the square almost at that trance. All we're going to see probably is support ults on the side of the Fried, unless they can build that dragon really quickly. But can they touch?
Oh, that might be a massive woo! Oh, okay, just barely the touch comes out. You have Cookie getting 2 with the dragon. That was almost catastrophic for Deviant there. However, they finally got the roll on with that big opening from their DPS.
Wow. Toad's wall was almost perfect. That was crazy. I thought there's no way that would count as a touch, but was able to trigger overtime. They were able to take the point. They were able to get the ults they needed. Still held on to High Noon. They're going to have Trance. And looks like they might be able to get a really good 0.2 push with this ult kind of economy. However, a lot of ults coming online for Fried.
Yeah, Blizzard mechanics were just in favor for Deviant that day, and you can tell Cookie's just riding this momentum like a wave, and it just manages to continue that on, takes out Fancy as the rest of his team just makes a ton of space for him to push up and do all the shenanigans. It's a really difficult situation for Fried here.
Absolutely, they're already gonna basically have halfway through 0.2 before Fried can actually contest. But they will have a lot of ults, so if they use them in the right order, they should be able to get another hold at least momentarily.
Yep, another Flux comes out, although Fancy doesn't manage to catch anyone of importance in that one. Although, you can tell, another Blizzard comes in. What the hell? Juice just sneaks in the back. Just, okay, alright.
You know, we talk about that team, but what about that Juice? Wow, saving that fight. Incredible.
I'm kind of speechless. How did he even get there? That's insane. He gets a stagger up to Gluttony as well. Juice just kind of gets what he wants.
Oh yeah, Deviant have this completely in their favor right now. Momentum has totally shifted. Pretty wild right now, considering they almost got full health. But right now, the only ult that we're seeing on the side of Deviant are Bongos and Dragon. Get a really big full Dragon to continue this push, but we do have the beat, and you know, Lamp is always really useful. So right now, both teams are pretty even.
Yeah, and I'm really expecting to see the Sunny Beaches with how close it was for Fried there. However, this will continue on either way. You can see Fried, they have a pretty strong foothold on the bridge there, and this might turn into a point A situation where they give it a little bit of space, but they focus on just one strong anchor point. Although that window is going to throw a wrench in their plans. You have a gang that pick off on the Papa Smurf. Already not good for Fried here. It's going to be very hard for them to sustain through this fight without that Arisa kind of just being the anchor in that team comp.
And actually throwing the Dragon.
Yep, Dragon almost catches the DPS of Deviant there. But more crucially, it buys time for stuff like Papa Smurf in order to get back in position. And Anarchy opens it up with the pickoff on the gank. And also a pretty good Graphitic Flux. Just opens it up for Fried to just rush right back on.
Juice is all the way behind right now in the spawn of the enemy team. And I think he was trying to go for High Noon, you know, behind him. Really big flank High Noon, but not having your damage dealer up there, that's so much less damage you're able to do, because the entire time you're flanking, they were basically taking a 5d6.
Yeah, that's the problem with going for all of those Reddit plays, and you can especially see it on King's Row with how Monster was playing. But now you're seeing it a little bit with how Juice is playing on the third point here. Anyway, Deviant's gonna try and probably take space with their Deadeye here after this wall gets popped. However, you can just see the rest of them. Oh, that is not the pickoff that you want for Fried. Although it gets traded out very quickly. Speaking of a lot of trades just back and forth. Although there's gonna be a support down for the Friday here, so a little hard for them to hold on. However, they got Gluttony with that window just pumping out heals left and right. You have Toad and Fancy just cleaning up the points. Not really much the rest of Deviant can do about this. Ryan just barely gets that touch in, but with all the crowd control, you're not really expecting much from him.
Tracer got back in. Game's closed.
They need to take out that. They need to clean up these DPS much quicker if they want anything to happen here. Gank just barely gets back in time, although he gets caught up by the flux. It's just kind of padding out Gluttony's stats right now. Oh my god, these stalls are gonna kill me. They gotta kill Ryan like right now. And Juice isn't able to get back in. We actually do get some refuge from the combat.
Well, I mean, if you're Deviant, if you're a fan of Deviant, that could have gone a lot worse. Almost got the full cap, still got 2 points, very close to the end. Great push. Almost was disaster at the very beginning, so that's the one thing to look forward to. But now you gotta hold off Fried. And, you know, so far it looks like even though they were pushed a good amount back, being able to recover and, you know, hold that last point, you gotta feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, Analyst Desk get to breathe a bit of a sigh of relief there, as it was almost it for Deviant there. However, now it's a pretty good chance for both sides here. This is going to be about Fried kind of still taking advantage that they did manage to stop them on point 3, even though that they were hoping for the full held. You kind of got to take what you get sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, that's still better than being full held, so I think they're in a much better position than they could be, and, you know, this is very holdable. They can give up the first point, they can give up second point, they can give up most of the third point and still take this map. Right now, you know, even with that trance, that male is just doing so much work, and it looks like we're going to see a forward hold coming out from Deviant. Yep, here it is. Here's the stall. Let's see if they can do it well.
2, 1.
Yeah, it's gonna be with the Fara as well, so just a lot of angles for Fried to worry about here. They do have the Sigma, so they're gonna be able to deal with it a little bit. Albert doesn't look like they're paying any attention, as they kind of just let Anarchy get flanked and dove on. You can see even Wayward trying to move in, just taking that space, and the rest of Fried just focus on grouping up.
You gotta kill that Mercy. I mean, once the Mercy's done, you can get the far much easier, and then you can pretty much roll in, kill everyone else, because then it's just a 4v6, but that Mercy doesn't die. She can res the Pharah, she can just keep pumping damage, and oh, maybe you even have a D.Va now, a really hard commit onto this pharmacy.
I'm not sure if you guys are seeing it, but Gluttony is like jumping up like a puppy trying to nip out a gank roll. However, it's not gonna matter, as, once again, the large damage sources on the side of Deviants managed to get those pickups. They do get the Mercy, and the spawn is quite far from this forward hold, so it's gonna be interesting to see if Deviant decide to hold up anyway.
A really smart switch from Fancy, goes back to the D.Va, loses the ult charge but gets the mech back. That's gonna be really helpful, and Orisa kind of right now, Ryan, out of position.
Although Juice does manage to get that early pickoff on the Toad, so it's going to be a bit harder for Fried in order to stay into this fight here. Especially when you consider the lack of ults that are online for them. And they need to be very aware of Cookie's barrage. He's kind of just poking out range, but at any point here, he can just dive in. Juice tries to go for a bit of a risky high noon, but it doesn't pay off at all. Just a good old back and forth, bit of a chaotic situation here. However,
looks like Fried gonna win.
Yeah, Fried do come out in the end. However, the thing about holding, you can explain it.
Yeah, it's very easy for them to be able to hold this point. I mean, that card's barely gotten any movement. Easily recontestable. They still have that barrage. They have to kind of make sure D.Va's not in that position, or maybe she's D-max, because otherwise that ult's useless. But really right now, Toad's walls have been so useful. I mean, they cut off all of that square from Ruka basically, and that was a big part of why they were able to push it as far as they have.
Looks like a very aggressive Shatter, just completely decimate Ryan on that Orisa here. Looks like Fried, they're just gonna keep their momentum rolling, despite that sort of hiccup early on in point A. Although this fight is still going on, with Wayward, Pharmacy just staying in the fight, but it's not gonna matter. Anarchy and Toad do a great job cleaning it up.
As you saw there, Ryan went out a little bit early, used the bongo, and then Papa Smurf's like, I see your shell, and I'm going to step through it now. And they were able to get rid of not only Orisa, but the bongo in one fell swoop. I'm not sure if that's a bit of a little bit, miscommunication there about which way to rotate, which way to set up, but, 2 ults invested, not a ton of value, now they're on the Ryan Zarya.
Yep. Now the second point, it's going to be all about, a lot of this is about the high ground control. And see Deviant trying to hold up there, although Wayward does get caught out. However, just because of the position, there's not going to be a ton of follow-up, especially from that Reinhardt. Actually, there's not even a Reinhardt. We have Papa Smurf on the Orisa here for Fried. So they're going to be playing this. Yeah, gonna be playing this quite a bit slower. However, they're making it work out. As Anarchy gets that pick on the cookie, swapping over to Jump for his signature pick. Gotta be careful about the McCree here. As Anarchy gets a 3K, kind of one-upping, not really one-upping Juice there, but just kind of mirroring his, yeah.
Yep, 2 big 3 high noons. They both got 3 kills coming out. Would have been great for Pride if they'd be able to keep the Blizzard. Kind of got negated by the fact that the high noon killed everyone. But they're gonna have that bomb soon, and right now the only thing that they might have is Shatter and
yeah, it's an easy pick for them. And it looks like, Anarchy taking out Juice too. It's not really a lot of that chaos factor. Once they take out Cookie, it's gonna be all over for Deviant on this point. Although that bomb doesn't find anything, Cookie and Ruka goes down. Yeah, it's over for Deviant here, and they need to hightail out of there. Though it looks like for a second, Wayward was still going towards the fight.
Yep, and that is a .2 completion. 3 minutes on the clock, pretty good time bank, but we're seeing some more swaps coming out. We now have Ryan Sigma and a Reaper. Reaper could be really good. We're seeing now the Orisa Sigma, so also currently in the favor of Deviant, but that could switch pretty quickly if they're not used correctly.
Yep, now it's the real test for Fried here. Juice is boosted around the May wall, but not really going to find any value. It's going to be back and forth as tanks are missing from both sides. Though, Fried are going to come out of that slightly worse for wear. As Deviant, they're just going to reclaim a lot of that lost ground. I mean, you can kind of see Fried are still just lingering around in these fights, still putting pressure on this Deviant lineup here. And you can see they kind of just explode right back into combat, although Cookie is very quick to capitalize. Though a nasty Blizzard might be quickly capitalized. Gluttony with those 2 important frontline targets. And right now, they're just gonna wait until Papa Smurf kind of gets back in. He's not too far behind, although Gluttony gets taken out, so that might be a bit problematic for them.
Yeah, I mean, this high noon could be huge, and right now we're seeing nothing on the side of Deviant. Closest thing is McCree ult, followed by Sig, but that point is right around the corner. This could be it right here, unless Deviant can make a stand.
Yeah, right now, just a whole big poke battle across the bridge. Although Anarchy stands too close to the sun as he gets completely cleaved in the front line. And now Juice responds with his own deny to buy some space, manages to thread the needle onto Gluttony, and Fried are out of that. Sayonara.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, way too close to the sun. Coming up on that cart, totally visible and just able to get mowed down, losing that ult, and Juice being able to get that 1 pick on Gluttony. That's all he took to win the fight. But now they're coming back in. They still have Sig ult. They have beat. Let's see who uses their Sig ult first.
Yeah, but it looks like it's gonna be fancy with his first. Puts a lot of pressure. Actually manages to take out Gankro in the back line, and you can see all that momentum rolling in for Fried here. It's gonna be very hard for Deviant to touch here. You have Cookie trying with all his might. Ruka kind of just jumping in on Car, trying to get all that stall in. Almost takes out Gluttony in the process. Although it's gonna be a pure stall game here. The Sound Bearer especially hard in order to get anyone finished off. Well, you do finally see the Graphitic Flux come in from Deviant. Although Anarchy taking out Juice means there's not going to be a lot of damage here left for the Deviant. Just going to be Cookie here, trying to get stuff done, although he gets stunned out by Anarchy once again. Their best efforts all thrown into the dumpster fire as Dallas Fry managed to take it to series 3-1. What a reverse.
Yeah, I mean, you can't write it better, can you? Same scoreline, complete opposite result. Wow, Fried came to play today, and that adds that great McCree play that we saw, hiding down in the lower section of point 2. But I mean, so close, especially on Kings Row, and here we saw in Havana. Really great series back and forth. At the end of the day, it just looks like Fried really had the number of Deviant. They kind of seemed to know how to counterplay a lot of the time, which swaps they needed, and they did really well. I mean, we saw in Volskaya, Deviant outplayed them there for sure, but the rest of the series, Fried were in control.
I don't know. Who would you say would be the MVP? Because there were quite a few like star players here. I kind of have my idea.
Yeah, so first, I want to give a shout out to Toad, because although I would not say they're my MVP, I thought their main play was very exceptional and it really enabled the Fry to do well. And I'm kind of stuck between two people, Anarchy and Gluttony. Anarchy's McCree and his Hanzo were just insanely nutty. He's getting these amazing ults, he's getting these huge impact frags. But then Gluttony was just kind of doing everything right, as the flex support, the BAP Ana, getting huge nades, huge sleeps, using Square mostly. I saw sometimes in Volskaya that they weren't using it at the best times. Otherwise, using Square very usefully, using Lamp in the right positioning. So, I don't know. It's a toss-up between the two for me. What about you?
I mean, it's hard not to mention Gluttony, kind of that high-fat, saturated support play. It's definitely very unhealthy, but it fits so well with this kind of Fried lineup to kind of have that extra playmaker in the backline to kind of fill in when like say Anarchy is in position to get anything done, or even just having the BAP in like whenever the Pharah was in. Like you could see Cookie or more specifically Gankro just completely struggling in order to survive against Gluttony there and a lot of those team fights.
All right, then I guess we have our MVP is Gluttony. And thank you, Conception, for the follow. Thank you for supporting the stream. We appreciate it a lot.
So, yeah, power rankings are definitely in the dumpster fire right now. Anyway, there's our MVP. Hello, Gluttony. How you doing? How you feeling after that fantastic win?
Oh my god, there's no fucking words in the world to describe that, dude. Oh my god. After the map 2 loss on Volskaya, which we all, that's our map, losing to that, we didn't have, well, I would say we were a little beaten going into map 3, and then winning in overtime on Scrims Row literally just sealed the deal for us. We didn't have any issues with them picking Havana. It's a map that we wanted them to pick. It's a map that we enjoy playing. Honestly, I had my work cut out for me in trying to just 1v1 Cookie, just trying to get the Mercy and the Farah combo out of there. I felt like that's what I had to focus on to get them to get the fuck away from us.
Yeah, I noticed it kind of just became a third DPS in that backline a lot of those times. Just putting in so much consistent damage for your team. It was very, very great to watch. So yeah. After that, you kind of dabbled on it. You kind of dabbled on it a little bit, but kind of want more focused on like the grand picture. So kind of after your 3-1 loss to Deviant, guessing it didn't feel very good. Like kind of how did you guys kind of focus on just getting yourselves kind of back in the series or getting yourselves back in the league?
We focused after the loss on Volskaya, focused on picking a map that we knew that Cookie wouldn't have the same protection that he did on last on Volskaya. We knew that he was their carry, and we either had to get Cookie out or we had to get the Mercy out so that we could get to Cookie. But that's why we picked Scrim's Row. It was a map that our tanks felt like they could win the 6v4 on the ground, and then we felt that Cookie didn't have the protection that he needed to go to do what he needed to do to win. So we just played what we had to get the man to get away from us.
There was a lot of I'm not gonna say the words. There were a lot of chaotic situations throughout that series. What's it called? So can you kind of just walk us through that last push to victory for you guys? Because that was definitely one of the most heated moments of the entire.
The last section of Havana toward the end. We had gotten, honestly, we knew we kind of had second as soon as we saw that Cookie swap from Junk to Hanzo. We knew they wouldn't have that ult, and we expected them to actually have that ult. And when he swapped, we knew he would get second easy, and then we could get third relatively okay. We didn't feel like we were in a position where we had to make a play, but because we had all the time that we needed. However, at the end, I would say the thing that really tied it down for us was the bongo window combo to get a whole bunch of extra damage out. I actually did not expect to kill the nano Rhine. I know he was just frozen there, but I still didn't expect to kill him through his damage negation through the nano. With like one burst. I expected at least 2 or 3, which is why I was completely surprised to get another kill and then to get focused down by I don't know, the Deviant Sigma. I knew it was going to happen because they were going to try and get rid of me, but we knew what we had to do to win, and we were going to make damn sure that was going to happen.
Nice. What's it called? Kind of going into your guys' next match, you guys are going to be going against Paris Pink Sox. Kind of, how are you guys feeling about going into that, especially after winning 3-1 against Deviant?
Wait, Pink Sox beat Fission?
Yep.
Holy shit! Oh, I didn't know that.
Wait, what do you mean no?
Oh, they beat Tiny. Okay.
It's
so winner of that has to go against Fission or XL, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know that Pink Sox fought their way up all the way from play-in, so I expect them to be a force to be reckoned with. I won't take them lightly. I know that my team won't take them lightly. I know that I expect great things from both teams in a great game. I don't really know very many people from Pink Sox, but the only thing that I can state that I know is a fact is that we've already beat one play-in team. I think we can beat another.
I like the confidence going into it. Have anything else to? We're very thankful for having you here. Is there anything else you would like to say to your fans? A lot of people came repping you guys in the stream chat today.
Personally, just 2 things. I mean, one for the team and for everyone else playing still in the playoffs. Practice your hearts out. Make the games fun. They're all enjoying whether we're playing or watching. So that to every team out there, get your practice. Get your play time, come ready to play and make the games fun. And personally, I'd rather be stuck on Zen than I would be on BAP, but that's what I'm going to stick to.
I feel you there. Don't worry about that. I'm not there.
I mean, hey, you could be in Arista jail.
That is true. I could be in Arista jail. I could be like Super in season 2. or sorry, not Super.
Smurf.
Yes, Smurf.
or Smart and Tizzy as well.
Just
They had a.
goats in general.
It is rough. All right, we are very thankful for having you here today, and we wish you best of luck in future matches.
Thanks, guys. I enjoyed the game. I hope you all, analysts, casters, production, have a great rest of your night. I hope stream and chat have a great rest of their night. Happy Mother's Day. I know my mom isn't watching because I didn't tell her about this, but I will shout that out. So happy Mother's Day to my mom, all moms around the world. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you for that overwhelming positivity. We really do love seeing sportsmanship like that, and hopefully we'll have some more great games in the future. But wow, what a game we had tonight. Pride, the underdog, winning it all, winning out, and moving on.